All right, let's get right into it. We're going to take a deep dive into the incredibly demanding but also super rewarding journey of becoming an emergency medical technician. You know, the person in the ambulance who answers the call when things go really, really wrong. I mean, it's a question we've all thought about, right? That call for help, it sets this whole incredible system into motion. And right at the heart of that system is a very specific kind of healthcare professional. That's them, the EMT. Think about it. They are the critical bridge. They step into the chaos of an emergency and connect that scene directly to the organized world of a hospital. They are literally the first link in the chain of survival. So, what makes someone want to do this? What drives a person to take on this kind of role? It's way more than just a job, you know? It's this deep commitment to helping people in what might be the worst moment of their lives. This right here, this really gets to the heart of it. It's a powerful reminder that while not every call is some huge dramatic trauma, every single time they interact with a patient is a chance to make a real positive difference. It's that mix of compassion and skill that's just so crucial. But of course, compassion isn't enough on its own. To become an EMT, you've got to go through some pretty intense training. And as you're about to see, there's a very clear ladder of expertise you have to climb. So, in the world of emergency medical services, or EMS, there are four main levels. It starts with the EMR, who provides that first immediate care. Then you have our focus, the EMT, who has a much bigger set of skills. And then you climb higher to the advanced EMT, and at the top, the paramedic, who can do some really advanced invasive procedures. And just look at this. This is where you see a huge difference in training. An EMT course is pretty substantial, around 150 to 200 hours. But that jump to paramedic, wow, it's often more than 1,000 hours. That's a tenfold increase. And all that extra time directly translates into a much, much wider range of skills they're allowed to use on a scene. Okay, so after all that time in the classroom, how does someone actually earn the right to get in the ambulance and practice? Well, it's not a simple process. It's a multi-step, very regulated path. Yeah, it's way more than just passing a class. First, you have to complete that state-approved course. Then you have to pass a big national exam, like the one from the National Registry of EMTs, or NREMT. After that, you get your state license, which lets you work legally. But, and this is a big one, the final step is getting credentialed by a local medical director. That's the official green light that says, okay, you can use your skills here, in this community. An EMT never, ever works alone in a vacuum. They are one piece of a much larger, really complex system that actually has a pretty fascinating history. Believe it or not, before 1966, emergency care was all over the place. Sometimes the ambulance was literally just a hearse. But then this huge report came out, and it basically revealed just how bad emergency care was across the country. It was a total wake-up call, and it led directly to the creation of the modern, structured EMS systems we have today. You've definitely seen this symbol, the Star of Life, on the side of an ambulance. But did you know each one of those points actually means something? It tells the whole story of a call. It starts with someone detecting an emergency and reporting it with a 911 call. Then comes the EMS response, the care they give on the scene, the care they continue in transit to the hospital, and finally, the transfer to definitive care at the hospital. The entire process, right there in one symbol. So who's ultimately in charge of the medicine? Who calls the shots? Well, that would be the medical director. This is the physician who gives EMTs the legal authority to do their jobs. They literally write the rule book, the protocols and standing orders that guide every single decision an EMT makes out in the field. And that medical direction, it comes in two different flavors. You've got offline control, which is that rule book I just mentioned, the pre-written instructions they follow for most situations. Then you have online control. That's when things get tricky and they actually get on the radio or phone to talk directly to a doctor for orders in real time. So, with that whole system working in the background, what does it really take to be that person on the ground? What is expected of an EMT on every single shift? The list of responsibilities is, well, it's huge. Safety is always, always number one. After that, it's this constant cycle of assessing the patient and providing care, all while making sure the handover at the hospital is seamless. And wrapped around all of that are strict legal standards, especially patient privacy laws like HIPAA. It is a massive juggling act on every single call. But, beyond all the technical skills, it's the personal qualities that make a great EMT.
Things like integrity and empathy, of course. But look at self-confidence. It's not about being a know-it-all, it's about knowing your limits and knowing when to ask for help. That kind of honesty, combined with being a fierce advocate for your patient, that's what truly matters.
And really, this is the bottom line. This is the guiding principle for everything. Every single decision, every action, it all comes back to one simple question. What is best for my patient right now? An EMT is their voice when they might not be able to speak for themselves. So we've seen it all, the intense training, the complex system they work in, and the huge personal responsibility they carry. It's a journey that demands this incredible blend of skill, compassion, and grit. And it really all boils down to just one final question.